Damn, I thought. Did he jet over here? I was slightly annoyed and thought of how disruptive he had been the whole evening. Nonetheless, I trudged downstairs pouting slightly. I opened the door and asked sullenly, "What?" I opened the door. He walked right in. No hello, no words, and when I turned to face him, he reminded me of a lost little boy. He did not respond to my rude question. Instead, he walked past me into my living room, hands in his pocket. Still, no hello. He could sense I was annoyed. I turned to face him. My robe parted just enough to tease, but not on purpose. My skin was damp and glistening, moisture still clinging, giving it a sultry glow. My shower cap on and still wet from the shower. I could not ignore the hungry look in his eyes. I was trapped by the intensity of his stare. In the seconds that elapsed, I looked at him, really looked at him. Although he was looking back at me, legs astride, a typical manly stance with hands in the pockets, he still looked like a lost little boy. He continued to stare at me appealingly, his eyes traveling up and down my body, then back to my eyes. He swallowed and continued staring. I felt like a sparring partner trapped in a very strange emotional duel. I knew I had to play it carefully and say the right thing. I sensed that his need for me was slightly overshadowed by his male pride, so I said softly, almost inaudibly, "Hi, honey, how are you?" He didn't speak. He stared, and I softened just enough. His reaction was to grab me, pulling me into him, bending me backwards. He held me so tightly I thought I'd suffocate. His arms wrapped around me with that unmistakable strength, dense muscle built from years of lifting beams, hammering nails, carrying weight that most men wouldn't even attempt. He was a home remodeler, accustomed to the strain of rebuilding things with his bare hands, and when he pulled me into him, it felt like he was trying to rebuild something in me too. His arms didn't just hold me, they contained me, firm, unrelenting, like steel warmed by sun. I sank into him, disappearing inch by inch, until there was no me, just his heartbeat, his breath, his need. And I felt it all, the frustration of his day, the tension in his muscles, the ache that had nothing to do with tools, timber, or sheetrocks. He didn't want to talk. Didn't need to. I was his release, his solace. I was his life force, and in that moment, he was mine. Later that evening, I slid from his grasp like silk slipping through fingers. He murmured something unintelligible and rolled over, satisfied. I stood for a moment and watched him, his chest rising, his mouth slightly parted, the tension finally gone. Like a cat, I stretched, purred internally, and padded downstairs, bare-legged, my robe loosening as I walked. I wasn't hungry for food, not exactly, but I needed something to keep the taste of him lingering. If you've ever needed someone to just show up, and they did, without a knock, without a question, then you already understand. This was my moment, and maybe, in some way, it was yours too.